Hello, Talk Funders. Today again, we're joined by Oscar from the Space Safe Company. Welcome, Oscar. And really, Oscar, I really want to talk about in this Talk Funding backstory about your own entrepreneurial journey. Basically your own entrepreneurial journey. And then what was that moment where you thought to yourself, I'm going to design the most feature-rich, kick-ass, smart safe on the planet?
Thank you. Thank you for having me again. It's been an amazing journey to get to where we are today. I'll give you a little background on me. As a little kid, I was the kind of guy who used to love tinkering with things. I wasn't like an engineer or anything, but, physically, I would love to create and move around, always moving, drove my parents and siblings crazy. So over the last, I would probably say 10 years, I've been in product development and design, started a few businesses. And about 2 years ago, I was working for someone doing electric bicycles, electric skateboards, hoverboards. I worked for one of the largest companies in the US. Worked for him for many, many years. I developed his line of goods, and then also jumped into sales. Did that for over 6 years, and it's actually incredible. You learn a lot when you're on somebody else's dollar. You're able to play around, and when you have a big team, whether they work for you or they're part of the factories, you learn and learn and learn, and you're able to take what you've learned and apply it to however you'd like to in whatever business you like. So left that company and was kind of looking for something new to jump into. I was looking at a bunch of different types of businesses. I'm not going to name them. But I ended up, one day I was meeting a friend of mine at his apartment in New York. He lived in a walk-up building in New York. I don't know if you're familiar with those.
I'm familiar with walk-ups, yes.
They're like in New York, some of them are in great condition, others are just horrible. Anyways, I'm supposed to meet a friend of mine. The door downstairs, unlocked, of course, or broken. I don't even know which one. So let myself in. I go up to his apartment. His front door was open. Okay, I figured he was there. That's why it's open. I let myself in, started calling out for his name, walked around the apartment, and, I noticed he wasn't there. But when I was in his bedroom, I noticed that on his bedside table, he had a very expensive watch that was over $20,000. I think it was a Rolex, if I'm not mistaken, or IWC. And for me, I was like, whoa, how does this guy just leave? Like, it is such an expensive watch out in the open, and, there's no cameras anywhere, and his building is, he could come in and his apartment is locked, So he comes home and I start, drilling him and going after him and telling him like, oh, you need to protect your stuff. And, you need, at the time I had no idea about statistics for break-ins. But, I told him you need a safe. And his response to me was, safes are hideous. And I was like, there has to be a safe that you would buy that doesn't look hideous. And that's kind of where I began. This is almost 2 years ago. I started researching, looking for safes, and I'm like, this guy is right. This guy does not want a safe because they're hideous. And let me see if I could design one. And so I designed one. And I kind of said to myself, this is actually, it's pretty nice. It's pretty cool. And so I got together with somebody who worked at a safe company for many years, and we took the design to reality. Because it's one thing just to draw by hand, and there's another thing to have like the guts of the product and to make sure it's actually safe and nobody's able to break into. And so once we did that, I kept saying like, okay, to have an LCD display is something that's very costly. The display itself is over $100. So like that's, once you start paying duties on it and all this other stuff, it takes that 100 and turns it into 200. So I said, all right, it's great that we have a touch display. It brings it to the 21st century. I mean, to the 21st century, 2021 to be more specific. But what we need are all these other features that we could add into it that may not cost much more, but kind of takes this safe into like not the next level, but like 4 levels up. And so that's what we did. We started looking at different types of features that we could throw in there. And part of the direction, the way we got there was like, all right, think if this was your safe and you had an unlimited budget, what would you love to see in there? And like the first thing was cameras. Why doesn't anybody have cameras in safes? It's like no brainer. Of course, because they cost money. Then, biometric sensors. People use very cheap biometric sensors, so we're like, okay, obviously we don't want it to be hackable. So we want this kind of specification and that kind of specification. And temperature and humidity sensors. And what if somebody tries to take the safe? You know what I mean? Like, not everybody wants it bolted down. What if somebody tries to literally, if I put the safe on my bedside table or in my living room because it's so gorgeous, and somebody tries to take it, yeah, the safe is about 40 pounds. And then once you have stuff inside, it adds another 10, 15 pounds, depending on what you have in there. It's not the heaviest thing and it's not the lightest thing. So how do we stop someone from doing that? And so we came up with tamper sensors and accelerometers. And, it kept moving and moving and moving into like having all these feature-rich features, like you were saying before. And so our most important thing is kind of to like have something that's affordable, that has as many features as we could throw in there for the end user. We don't make a lot of money on a product like this, as I was explaining before. Like once you start adding up like all these costs, and we pay shipping domestically, so that's also like a very heavy number. We don't really make much money, but this company is not created right now to make money. This is a quantity game for us. We're not looking to sell 1,000 or 2,000 safes. We want to sell millions of safes. And when we sell millions of safes, we want to create other products that we think are just as amazing for every other person. And we have a list of products that we plan to go into after this. But obviously I can't tell you those yet. But they are super exciting. We know people are going to love them. And once you see those in the market, you're just going to say like, wow, that was a no-brainer. And, yeah. So, yeah, over 10 years of entrepreneurial background, design background, sales background. I've worked with some of the largest retailers in the world, Costco, Target, Best Buy, Walmart, that's domestically in the US, outside the US also. I sold internationally to over 20 different countries. Again, with some of the largest electronic stores in the past and clothing stores. So I kind of have this rounded understanding for what people like and what people want. It's sad that sometimes you see like products that come out that are not good, but are sold anyways. And, I don't want that product. I didn't want that kind of business. So, yeah.
Well, all I can say is Wow, fantastic. I just love it. It's so, as you were saying in the main, it's so Tesla-esque, if that is such a word, to come out with this really smart space safe, which is, it's future-proof because it's software-based. You're connected to the internet. It's feature-rich because it's like, my God, when we do the deep dive, it's going to be great. You can be able to go through all these features that this has. And I think it's wonderful that, you have the scope to think, it's not just within the United States you can ship to, you can ship abroad. My family is in Malaysia, and I know that they would be wanting something like, in Asia, they'd be wanting something like this as well. So I really wish you all the best, Oscar, and please come back when you're doing your next product. I would really look forward to it. Interviewing you again, my friend. So listen, thank you so much for coming on. This is Oscar from Space, and their smart space safe basically, which is live on Indiegogo, and all the links will be in the video description below. Thank you so much, my friend. Bye now.
Thank you very much.